Hello and welcome to Reginaldesq. I'm Underhook and this is my review of the German Tier 6 medium tank, the VK3001P. So is it any good? Well, the VK is big and it's heavy too. It's big and it's heavy. It's got good armor too and it's really fast. Is that correct? Check the stats. Wow, that's correct. So VK's big and heavy. Got good armor too, and it's really fast. And it's got the best gun at Tier 6. It's got the best gun at Tier 6. It's got the highest alpha damage. It's got the highest alpha damage, and it's really fast. Wow, that's pretty amazing, isn't it, really? There's got to be something wrong with it though, doesn't there? And it's got all that going for it. Something to balance it out a little bit. Well, the turret is slow. Tracks are slow too, but I don't mind. The turret's like a heavy tank. So are the tracks, but I don't mind. Yeah, it's a very good tank. So the VK has a wide selection of guns. There are 4 that you can see here. Definitely worth upgrading the turret, even though you don't need to get to what I think is the best gun, and that's the 88 here. Once you get the turret, you can get this 105mm gun, which is basically a howitzer gun, and is also a 75mm gun, which is a bit more traditional for a medium tank of this tier. So this howitzer gun here, over here on the right, look, it's probably would be a really good gun at Tier 5, but at Tier 6 I think it's the armor's getting too thick for this particular gun to work. It's not basically, doesn't have high enough pen and damage at this tier. So I didn't play that gun. The 88 is a great gun, 8.7 rate of fire, which is slow at Tier 6, but for the alpha damage it's actually pretty quick, not bad. 145mm of penetration is not bad, 220mm of damage is fantastic. The .38 dispersion, this gun is no good at long range. It's very effective at close range and good at medium range, but it sucks at long range. So bear that in mind. If you want to do sniping, then use the other gun. 2.3 second aiming time is actually exceptionally good for a gun with this alpha damage. So whilst there are some quicker aiming mediums at this tier, which we'll see in the comparison, for this much damage, that's a very good aiming time. The other gun you could use is the 13 rate of fire on 75mm, which is much faster. 150 penetration, that's 5 more millimeters of penetration, can make a difference sometimes. 135 damage, which is much lower, of course, more in line with other tanks of this tier. 0.35 accuracy would be better at long range, this tank, and same aiming time of 2.3. All of my games you're going to see are with the 88 because I think it's just clear and away the best gun. There's a lot to upgrade in this tank, so it might take you a little while, but at least you can get hold of a good gun early so the grind isn't too painful. Let's go and have a look at the tank comparison. Oh, before we do, I'll tell you what I've got in the tank. I have medium gun rammer fitted to speed up the loading time, since that is the biggest weakness with the 88 gun. Also have vents to also help speed that up. I have coated optics for better vision. My crew, my commander has 6 sensors working on recon. This guy has concealments working on snapshot. This guy has concealment working on smooth ride. This guy has concealment, he has situational awareness working on concealment. And this guy has concealment working on firefighting. Let's get into it. There are a lot of medium tanks at this tier. I have not included them all, and there's no premiums in this comparison. From the DPM we can see that we're about average there. So the lowest in this list here is the STR V74 with 1747. We're at 1913. Not as good as the 2090 of the Easy 8, but it's still sort of in the middle there, in the middle ground. Penetration of 145 is around about average for this tier. The worst is the Type 58 and Easy 8 at 128, or the worst in this comparison anyway, and the best is the Cheeto with 155. So damage though of 220 is the best that I've been able to find anyway at Tier 6 of any of them. There is another one with 180. Here it is, the T-3485, the Russian medium, has 180 alpha damage, so that's pretty high, but still we're doing 40 more damage per shot. All the others, as you can see, vary from 160 to 130. Now the rate of fire of 8.7 is the slowest, as you'd expect, because it's got the higher alpha damage. The best rate of fire is the Easy 8 with 18, and that is a good tank, although its penetration at 128 is a little bit low. Reload time, as you can see there, you can read those for yourself. Shell velocity of 733 is a little slow, and that's another reason when I said the gun isn't very good at long range, that's another reason why. The shell velocity is the slowest that you can see here at 773. So if a tank is moving at long range, it's harder to hit and it's not very accurate. So don't try and snipe with this gun. If you use the other 75mm if you want to snipe. The best velocity though is a T-34-85 at 950, and the STRV also is 925, so they're better at long range. The ammo capacity isn't a problem. Let's see if we can scroll down here. Aim time of 2.3, as you can see, is pretty much in line with most of the other tanks. The STRV-74 is a special case. It has 1.8, which is very fast, and the Cheeto has 2.1, which is pretty good. But 2.3, considering we've got such high alpha damage, normally tanks are penalised with a slower aim time, but not in this case, and that's one of the things that makes this tank really good near the front lines. 0.38 though, dispersion is the same as the Type 58, a little bit better than the Easy 8 at 0.4, but the others all are a bit better. The gun depression of 8 degrees is very good and does enable this tank to hill fight. Even though it does have a cupola, don't panic, the cupola is reasonably well armoured. Now, you don't want to be hanging around with the top sticking out, but it can hill fight fairly effectively. The best is, of course, the STRV-74 with 15 degrees of gun depression. The Easy 8 and Cheeto are also very good. Now, let's have a look here. Forward speed of 60 kilometers per hour. Now, the Cromwell is better at 64, but it's the fastest other than that. So it is a very quick medium tank, but it's only fast in a straight line. So the slowest one here we can see is 45, which isn't tragically slow, but 60 is a lot faster. Reverse speed of 20 is also the equal highest. The weight of 38 ton is the heaviest that we see here in this comparison, but the other VK, the VK3002M, I think it is about 42 ton or something like that. So it's not the heaviest, but very heavy. And when you look at the speed, you can really do some serious ram damage with this tank. So if you see a light tank or another medium, feel free to give them a bit of a ram. Now, the problem with this tank is terrain resistance, and also we can see the traverse. So as I mentioned in my little jingle, the turret traverse is slow, and so is the track traverse. So you can see 28 for both of them, whereas the other tanks here, the next slowest turret traverse is 36, and the next slowest tank track traverse is 30, so a little bit quicker. But it does feel, when you're like turning in that like a heavy tank, and it's not the kind of tank you can just drive out and circle around other people, because it just doesn't turn quick enough. But you don't really use it for that anyway, I don't think. So, but yeah, terrain resistance are awful, so it's not good in that situation. Hull armor, 75mm at the front, which is very good, best in this comparison, or equal to the Cheeto. It's also, there are some others, I think the other VK has pretty good frontal hull armor, so it's not the very best of frontal hull armor, but it is good. But the side armor is also 62, which is not bad. That means this tank can side scrape even against equal tier heavies, because the side, they won't overmatch on it, so it's not bad. It does have some weaknesses against side scraping that I'll show you, but it's better at side scraping than pretty much any other tank at this tier. And its turret of 100mm at the front is the best out of these guys. The next best is the Type 58 with 90, and the T-34-85 also has 90, although the turrets on those two are better shaped. But 100mm is still good, but it's also 80 on the sides and the rear, which really does help the longevity of this tank, especially if you're top tier. Health-wise, 750 hit points is pretty much standard, but the Cheeto has 820, and we can see here the T-34 only has 720, the T-34-85. I know the other VK, I think, has about 850, but 750, it's up there with the rest of them. Anything else to cover here? View range of 370 is good. It's on the upper side for a medium tank at this tier. And I think the others there, you can see some, half of them are lower, half of them are the same. That's about it. Now let's have a look at the armour. Okay, so here we are looking at the hybrid model. We can see that this upper plate here, which is pretty, well, it's a little bit angled, not bad. It is 75mm thick, as is the upper driver's plate and machine gunner's plate here, 75mm as well. Now, the upper plate here is reasonably flat, and so front on can be penned. You really want to keep this tank angled at all times if you possibly can. The lower plate is 62, but because of the sloping and angle, it actually comes up stronger than the upper plate. So if people aim for your lower plate, it's actually a good thing. This upper plate here is also only 62mm, but it's very, very well sloped. The turret is exceptionally good on this tank for a medium tank. We've got here 160mm in this pink bit, as you can see here, which is very, very good. And here we've got spaced armor of 50mm overlaying 100mm. So we're getting very, very good armor on the turret. The cupola, as I said, is stronger than you think. It's 95mm thick. The very top of it, though, is a little bit weaker at 50mm. But if they don't hit the dead center on this 95mm, you're getting 100mm or so. So a lot of lower tier tanks, if you're top tier, a lot of lower tier tanks will bounce off your turret for sure. The side arm of the turret is also 80mm, which means any glancing blows on the turret here will bounce. But also, let's say you're aiming at somebody here and I'm next to the guy you're aiming at and I go to shoot the side of your turret, I'm still getting ricochet even from here. Even from here, like on an angle like that, you ricochet here, and here you're still getting close to 100mm of armor, and of course the front you can't. So there's not a lot of weaknesses in the turret. It's pretty good. The sides, as I said, are 62mm, same as this lower plate, etc. So side scraping this tank can be really good. You can see we're getting ricochet here, and even when we can pen, it's pretty. You can get a fair bit. There you go. It's still over 100mm, so you're still stronger than your turret, the side of your tank at this angle. The only trouble is this angled piece here on the upper plate is basically flat when you're side scraping. So watch out for that, because that's where they'll go for it. It's 75mm thick, which is good, but they can still probably pen it. The roof is weak though, and you can actually get it from here. It'll be for 75mm or bigger, it'll be an auto pen, but it's very small, fortunately. Keep your tank moving, it's hard to see. It's 6mm here, sorry, and 25 on top. Artillery hits are devastating to this tank if they land on top. The rear of the tank is only 40mm, which is fair enough. All in all, good armor for a medium tank. The map is Prokhorovka, and it's a tier 8 match, so we're bottom tier, so a good one to show you. I'm of course going to be a little cautious because I'm bottom tier. This map hasn't changed too much in the update, so I kind of know relatively where I'm going, which is kind of nice because I've been totally lost on some of these new maps, as I'm sure some of you have too. Anyway, tier 8 game, they have a VK 100.01p 26E4. Is that a Super Pershing or something? I'm not sure what that is. I have a Rheinmetall as well, which is a pretty big gun. They've got an IS, Oni, Leo. Okay, so they've got some good damage dealing tanks there, so we'll have to be a little bit careful. And fortunately for me, they don't have any big artillery. They've got an FV304, which would still do big damage to us, and it would land on top of us because it's got a very high arc. So it might get full penetrations, but it won't be able to one-shot us. At least that's something. So I'm moving up here now to do a bit of spotting. So I think this is the first time I've been up here since with the new map. And I thought, oh, there's a new bush here to spot from, which is kind of nice. Never used to be any bushes to spot from up here before. We can see the Easy 8 on the enemy team there, which is tier 6 American tank. So same tier as this one, and boom, we get a hit. Wouldn't you know that the phone would go off just as I'm doing this. Hopefully that wasn't too loud for you. Anyway, we've got a hit on Easy 8, which was nice. And you can see the big alpha damage. Yeah, like I wouldn't have been able to get a second shot on that tank anyway, because he, of course, moved as soon as I hit him. So having a higher rate of fire would be no advantage. We're a bit lucky, though, that we hit him at all at that range. Sometimes you do miss completely at that range. So our T-29 is just going straight out there, so good on him. Now we've got a shot here on a KV-2. We've got a ricochet there. Don't worry too much, just aim for centre mass with this gun. Even if it's red and not green, just fire anyway, because we are hitting these shots, and that one actually went really straight. Enemy T-3485, which is the Russian tier 6 medium tank. So we've hit a couple of other tier 6 mediums. And I'm making a lie of the accuracy of this gun. I know it's proving to be really accurate, but to be honest with you, it's one of the reasons you're probably seeing this game is I was a bit lucky with accuracy. But as I was saying, you just aim centre mass, and even if it's red, but you know there's a green, probably a green area of armour near that area, just go for centre mass because it probably won't hit exactly what you aim at anyway. So just aim at the tank and fire, basically. That's my advice with this gun at this sort of range. Can we get another shot at his KV2? He's moving out of range there a little bit. He might come back. Come back! So as you can see, I'm being quite cautious, but I am bottom tier. So I think, and I, you know, whilst I said it's got good armour, not when you're bottom tier. Oh, and we got the killing shot in the KV2. Admittedly, a KV2 is a big target, so that helps. So we've actually got 2 kills. We're doing alright. Now, I have actually decided not to continue up the hill because I've looked on the map. If you look at the map there, you can see the other side of the map. There are quite a few enemy tanks advancing up. And whilst I can see we've got a Ferdinand, he's got big, and we've got a T-38-485, he's not bad. IKV-90B won't last more than about 1.5 seconds against those tanks that are advancing. They've got a VK-101P, that's their top tier. So I'm thinking these tanks are getting wiped out. So I'm actually just coming up here to defend, well, to help them out while they're still alive is basically my idea. I didn't know how I was going to do it because the map's changed. I can't remember how it's changed. Now, I've got no chance of penning that VK. As you can see, everything is red. I fire around anyway, really just to annoy him and let him know that he's being shot at. So that instead of advancing, he starts to retreat. Because I am at this stage just trying to keep my teammates alive. Because if this tank collapsed, then they start coming around behind everyone. And that was my worry. That's why I just started heading out here. Now, I have got 6th sense on this tank. And I haven't been spotted. So that gives me confidence to move up a bit. So I'm thinking those tanks there. There is an SP1C though there. And I'm thinking this SP1C is surely going to spot me. But he hasn't. So I just continue straight through that bush. I was thinking of stopping at it, but I thought I'll keep going and I'll move up to the next bush and see if I can spot anyone. I am thinking though I'm probably going to take a hit. I've got full health so I can afford to take a hit, but I'm probably going to take a hit because the SP1C is probably going to spot me. Now we spot the Leo. I know I can penetrate a Leo every day of the week, so I just go for the shot. And wow, we get lots of, we actually tracked him as it turned out. So all of that subsequent damage was on our spotting and track damage. So we just got a fair bit of assistance damage there, which was nice, as well as getting a shot in. So I figure that worked. I'll go back and have another spot. I was spotted, I think, when I fired my gun though, which is understandable. So we've got the Oni there. I don't think I just spotted him. I think he was already spotted. I'm just hoping the top of his turret will poke up over here somewhere. I can get a shot. But I'm probably actually wasting my time. Looking at the low health he's on, I should just drive right up and shoot him. Probably wasted my time. Probably not good enough thinking there. I'm still petrified of getting spotted by this 1C, but I'm out of range. Oh, the 1C's right up there now. Alright, well that's giving me a lot more confidence to just move up on this other guy now. So I'm just going to drive along the bush line here. And there he is. I'm getting red indicators everywhere. And I can't lift my gun up or I'm going to hit the barrel of the dead tank in front of me. So I basically just couldn't fire. Then I just thought, oh, well, maybe I'll get some spotting damage. But I don't think, I didn't get any spotting damage for that. So can we pen this guy? Well, you can see there I had red indicators. I fired anyway and it went in. So as you know, don't use premium ammo because it's all standard ammo. And there's the Rheinmetall. Wow, I was right not to let myself be spotted, because he would have done some serious damage to him. But anyway, we get a shot into him. Can we get another one? And we get the killing shot. End of the game, folks. And we nearly capped too. Our team 67% capped. So as you can see from that game, with this tank, if you're cautious when you're bottom tier, you can still have a really good game. So that was a class 2 in the tank. Let's have a look. And we did 1800 damage and finished second for our team. 934 XP is a class 2 apparently. Wow, okay. 15 shots fired, 11 hits for 9 penetrations. So we were lucky. Most of it was sort of sides and stuff. We had tanks, or we were firing at sort of lowly armoured tanks, so we did alright there. 1,819 damage. 965 of that was at long range. We had some really long range shots there at the start, and I think we were a bit lucky. Often it will miss, but I think in the next game you'll see some classic misses from the gun, so it won't make a liar of me. 6 damaged and 3 destroyed. 853 assistance damage, so that's pretty good, because that's more assistance damage than hit points we have in our tanks, so 50 hit points. So we actually all round did pretty well in that game. The map is Mannerham Line. This is my second game on this map, so I'm really not sure what I'm doing here. I think the first game I played, I just stayed back and hid in the bushes. I forget what tank I was using at the time. So this is the first time I've actually sort of advanced on this map. I think last time I played the map I was on this side of the map too, so I haven't even seen the other side of the map at all. So I'm just going this way because this seems like a good way to go. I saw that guy going there to do spotting, and he's in a spotting type thing, so that's good. Then I think about going around that edge of that wall, and I thought, oh no, I might go this the edge of this bunker here. I might be able to get some better shots if I get a bit of a wider arc. Then I noticed this leopard's been spotted around the corner. I think, you know what, I'm pretty close to him. I can probably just pop around that corner and finish him off. So let's see what happens. Yes, folks, I bounced. In fact, we tracked him, and I just left a little bit poking out there. Thought I was going to miss it, but he still penned me. So the tank is fairly big, and that leopard penned us too easily. And anyway, he got 2 rounds into us. I bounced off that 4H. Probably shouldn't have even fired that shot. I'm staying close to the wall here to try and make it as hard for them as they can to get me. But yeah, we bounced off his frontal arm. It was probably a ricochet actually. So we bounce off the M4's frontal armour. That was a bad shot on my part. I take a hit from him with HE ammunition. Fortunately though, he only does 94 damage to me with his HE, so he must hit a thick part of my armour. And we managed to finish off that Panzer 4H. We actually side scrape and bounce the KV-85. And I want to try and finish off this M4. And we do. Only 4 hit points of damage for it, but I didn't want to get hit by his HE armour in the side of the tank. It might have been a different story. It looked like the KV-85 had just fired, which is why I went after him. He's now coming after me, but I'm sticking really close to the wall. And fortunately I have some teammates around. The T-150 says, let me get some shots. And I figure, okay, well he's got heavy armour, so he's just going to push around the corner and do his thing. But no, he has absolutely no idea what he's doing. So I go move in, I take a shot, and I get hit by a KV-1. Yes, it's that KV-1 right there. Thank you, Dylan, D-Y-L-L-A-N. He shot me quite a while after I had pulled back from the tank, because he's a moron. And I'm nearly dead now. Anyway, I don't have much else. So the KV-85 did put one into me, and then my friendly KV-1 deliberately shot me because I wasn't even in front of the KV-85 anymore. And sorry, my son just walked in, but he's walking away again now. And I just waved him off. So I'm half worried about moving up on this KV-85 in case my KV-1 shoots me again. Anyway, we managed to go in and get the killing shot on that guy because I could tell he was preoccupied with the other tanks, and I think he'd just fired, so I moved up on him. But yeah, anyway, you get that. I accidentally ran to the back of the VK. He's been playing a pretty good game, that VK. So I'm just trying to poke the ridge now using my gun depression. I haven't got a shot on that, but I can see the stug. So we're going to see, we bounce off the front plate there. Shot didn't quite hit where we aimed. Now this one does, and it says 350 damage. I don't think we did 350. I think someone else probably hit him at the same time. 350 is way above our damage range. So moving up now on his Jag. I don't want to get hit by the Jag Panther because I'm a one-shot kill at the moment. So I'm being really cautious and trying to let him, I'm only showing a little bit at a time. I'm bouncing off his upper armour, but it's mainly because I don't want to expose too much of my tank. I'm being a bit careful here. I can just see a bit of his tank there, a fire, and we do hit, but we bounce again. That time we hit the rock. Oh, he's coming out. Oh, we bounced again. And Archie gets him. So we didn't have much luck there with that guy. A lot of bouncing. There's some tanks off to the left now. I'm a bit worried about the right though. I don't know who's on the right hand side. And then we spot artillery. Oh, I can only barely see the top of his tank. This gun really isn't accurate enough. So I move. See if I can get a shot here. I fire but I miss. Now Artie's hit him. I've moved to a better position. We hopefully can get a shot here and hopefully we don't get hit by anybody else. We get the killing shot there. So there's still these tanks off to the left here. I'm not so worried about my right now because I think why haven't they come out if they're there? So there mustn't be anybody there. So I decided to see if I can get a shot. This guy, I run over a big brick, but I've been spotted. And I'm spotted by an ELC. Whoa! Okay, I realised pretty quickly this guy's on full health. He must be AFK. So it's an AMX ELC at base. So the artillery's just been spotted. I aim at the AMX, but artillery gets him, and I get a shot into the grill, and then I change course in case the grill is firing at me, and somebody else polishes it off. So a bit unfortunate we didn't get any damage on the AMX there, but game over. So that turned out to be a Class 1 game. It was a Tier 7 game, but the enemy team only had 2 Tier 7 tanks. I don't know why this was a Class 1 when my previous game was a Class 2 and I did way more damage in my previous game. But anyway, this game did allow me to get my second mark of excellence on the tank, which was rather nice. I've only played about 115 games in it, so and that includes the grinding. So it's a good tank to grind. The grind is pretty painless in my opinion. That's part of the reason why I think I was able to get the second mark so early on. Top gun as well, which is kind of nice. And next screen, we finished on top. We did 1,151 damage and it's got 1,136 XP, which is a Class 1 tank. So it's not easy to get Master in this tank, which is a good sign. It means it's a good tank. The J Panther on the other team did slightly more damage than me, doing 1194, so he got the top damage. And next screen, we fired 20 rounds. 17 of them hit and only 9 penetrated. Now I know off that Jag Panther we bounced a lot of shots, but it wasn't that many. Probably bounced a bit off the KV. Oh, we bounced a couple early too, didn't we, off the M4 and also off that little Leopard. Oh yeah, we bounced a lot. Some of those bounces were just ridiculous, but anyway. What else can we say? We received 5 hits, 4 of them penetrated, 1 being from our teammate. 1 bounced. So we blocked 1 shot. Now, okay, the armor is not fantastic, but we would have died if that had penned. So it makes a difference. 4 vehicles spotted, 7 damage, 6 destroyed, 834 assistance damage as well. So that's probably helped to get the XP. But you know what? I had a look before. That previous game, I did 1,800 damage. It was a Tier 8 game. We were bottom tier. And I did 835 spotting damage in that game. So why I got more XP in this game than the other game, I have no idea. How they work this out is a mystery to me. We made pretty good money. There's a bit of a bonus, 10 grand bonus going on at the moment, which helps. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching my review of the VK30A1P. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of your reviews, okay?